This is what happens when you don't finish what you started, boy.
Invincible is one of the best. No. Invincible is the best fictional media you will ever read/watch. And if you don't believe me, then you're just wrong. With the release of season 4 of Invincible, I decided to remake my entire Invincible mod from scratch. If you guys seen the previous video, you would know I wasn't really happy with it. So I'm here to show you and give you a cool quick tutorial of how to play the new version of the mod. Let's get to it. Getting started, we're gonna go into the suits first. We only have 5 at the moment. This is the initial release. You know, there's not a lot. This is mostly the setup for what's coming soon. There's going to be a lot. But right now we have Invincible, Invinciboy, Adam Eve, Red Rush, and Omni-Man. And when it comes to these suits that have like capes and whatnot, we actually, have the capes on the suit. They work and they're fully functional. So when it comes to making these suits, I decided to bring back custom crafting with a little bit more. I was very meticulous in how I did it. So now you need 2 things, the sewing machine and the suit creation table. The sewing machine is created with 3 gold blocks, 2 gold, and some shears. We're gonna put it on top of this. And the suit creation table is made with a crafting table, a sewing machine, an empty blueprint, which these are very important when making suits, a computer screen, 2 blocks of redstone, and a wooden table. And that's kind of what that looks like. When you are making a suit, you actually need to make colored string, dyed string. And the recipe for that, we'll show you with this. This is how you make any type of colored string. You take the dye and a string in the between, and you get, your desired dyed string. And the same also goes with fabric, because you need these string to make the types of fabric that you want. So if I want to make like I said before, boom, dyed fabric, you need whatever color string you have to make the dyed fabric. So boom, boom, and boom, there is your recipe for black string. And that goes for every color string. We have every single color string for every single dye. And if there's more dyes that get added to the game, then boom. And then also for the fabric, like I said before, you just need the colored fabric for your string. Going into that, for these suit recipes, you actually need a blueprint. So if we are going to make the Invincible suit, if we press R on it, we can see that we need 3 different types of fabric as well as the blueprint. And when you do that, the fabric, or the blueprint, actually takes damage. So I'll show you guys what that looks like now. Put that here, and boom, it takes damage for as much as the suit. There's 3 pieces of the suit, so you have 3 crafting recipes for the blueprint. So if I go like that, boom, and then for the pants, what are the recipes for the pants? Okay, that I could have guessed that. And boom, and now your blueprint is gone. But I am invincible. Moving on to what everyone has been waiting for: races and powers. We have the Viltrumite races, so the pure blood Viltrumites, the human Viltrumites, and the Thraxan Viltrumites. We have the human race, obviously, and we have the beast race. With that, there are technically 1 to 5 powers at this current moment. Beast race has their own moveset, and the Viltrumites have their own moveset, as well as super speed, atomic manipulation, and tech jacket. With that being said, there is actually a race requirement for certain powers. So let me give myself, Thraxan Viltrumite. And if I try to use this, you must be human or Geldarian to use this. Same with atomic manipulation. You must be a human to use this, and super speed. This may change in the future, right? This could potentially change in the future, but as of right now, I don't need Viltrumites running around with super speed or run around with atomic manipulation. It's no, not right now. You know, maybe I'll add like a config option for it, so you know, player, you know, more customization right there. But as of right now, there are a race requirements for certain powers, so you can't, you know, mix and match everything. With that being said, let's get into the moveset for the Viltrumites. As a Viltrumite, you have 6 abilities: Sonic Clap, Invincible Rush, Omnado, I Said No, Aerial Barrage, and the Severing Slice. I decided that Red Rush was going to be our punching bag for the day. You want to start to use your abilities, you want to turn on your combat mode, and you want to make sure that your combat row is on like if it's the first 5 abilities you want to use, make sure your combat row is on 5. You know, combat row 2 is for 6 through 10. That is kind of why, you know, boom, combat row 1 and then combat row 2. So make sure you're on row 1. Sonic Clap, we have, oh, I need to level myself up. Let's do that real quick. Now boom, Sonic Clap. As you can see, it's a little bit more destructive. The shaders make it a little bit more you know, dark, but yeah, there is a short cooldown for it, so you can kind of sort of spam it. You know, it does a pretty decent amount of damage, and it depends on how far away you are from the target. So like if I did it right there, it's not gonna do that much damage, destruction damage, but if I do it farther away, then it will actually, you know, create a bigger dent. And if I look this way, I might be able to send them flying up. I decided to turn Invincible Block Destruction off for now. We're gonna move into the second ability. We have Invincible Rush. It's pretty much the same how it was before in the last version, except, you know, there's a bigger radius and you kind of fly further. For the next ability, we have the Omnado, which is a lot similar to the Invincible Rush, except, you know, boom, it has a different effect and it does a little bit more damage, but you can low-key combo the two. Boom. Oh, and that's what it looks like when you gain mastery, y'all. For our next ability, we have I Said No. Just like before, it's a stun ability, so let me try this. If I go in survival, punch him, I'm stunned. Okay, so that is what it looks like when a speedster stops time, like off rip. We're gonna try this again. Be quick with it. And oh, okay, y'all. Take 3. Okay, y'all. I figured out what the problem was, and it wasn't me. He had like tech jacket stats. So if we do this again, you know, I should, yep, now he can't do shit to me. All right, and then I'm stunned. Boom, now he's stunned. Okay, and it was like a, you know, quick little second, but I Said No stuns the opponent, and you know, he's trying to beat me, but like I'm too strong. I'm a Viltrumite. Moving on to our next ability, we have Aerial Barrage. Okay, now this is a new one. To even use this, you need to have your flight active. You don't need to be flying, but it needs to be active, you know. So if I click on the key, base key should be in, and you know, click the key for Aerial Barrage. Boom, like it said, it's an aerial barrage, and it really works well if you stun him first. So if I boom and then stun him, now he can't really move as like he's getting, you know, beat up like how it was before. He went flying a little bit out of the range, but if you stun him first and then you click it, you know, it really works well. Moving on to our final ability, you know, in Combat Row 2, we have Severing Slice. This is basically the Viltrumite Chop. I could have named it that, but I thought about having another ability named Viltrumite Chop, you know. So we have Severing Slice right here. Boom. And it gives the bleeding effect, actually. It gives the deep wound effect. So if you hit it, they kind of start taking damage a little bit longer than, you know, normal. And it does a pretty decent amount of damage. Moving on to our next race / power, we have the Beast Race. this race actually has 3 abilities right now. Obviously more can get added, but we have Pounce, we have Upper Fang, and we have Lacerate. These were also in the last version of the mod, but you know, I made it better. Everything that, you know, a lot of stuff is being remade. A lot of the stuff is like, you know, I just making it better than it was before, you know, and adding more stuff to it. But let's go ahead and, you know, get our Red Rush right here. We'll do Pounce right now. Boom. But yeah, it's like a little jump. You feel me? And you know, you could take them with you, and yeah, you can jump pretty far. And this can go right into our next ability, which is Upper Fang. Here, let's get over there. I just want to say, when you're using this ability, make sure you like look, you know, in a direction, like not down. You know, you have to kind of have to angle yourself. Holy, I'm getting obliterated. Kind of have to angle yourself to, you know, use their ability. I killed him. But yeah, that's what Pounce looks like. You know, you got your Upper Fang. Boom, you send him up flying. You know, it's freezing time, so I can't really do anything. But Pounce, Upper Fang, and then you have Lacerate, which is like if you're in that little area behind me, you actually are still taking damage. So let's try to combo all of these. Boom. You know, and that's kind of what like a little combo looks like. Although I can't use my ability right now because it keeps stunning me. Yeah, let's just go at it again. Boom. Man, I might even be able to hit him with a heavy punch. Maybe not. He's moving really fast. Guys, this is really annoying to fight this guy. Boom. Moving on to the next 3 powers. You actually have to be a human, like I said before. So, boom. And when you actually use your human, right now you get a power, but this will be taken away. You know, I will be making it so you have a chance to spawn with your power when, you know, your race comes in, but mainly most powers are actually going to be obtainable in survival. That's something that we did not have in the previous version of the mod. Something that I wanted to do, I did do, but I took it out. But yeah, there will be a, you know, a full way of getting almost every single power in survival for like the human race. I want to start with Red Rush, since that's exactly the power we've been using to, you know, fight. So let's go ahead and give myself a good level and show you guys the abilities we have. I went over this in the previous video, sorry. We have speed up and down, we have speed barrage, mock dash, sonic punch, flash fury, and time stop. Okay, using these abilities, again, you guys seen Red Rush use these, so we'll go over it briefly. But you know, you have your speed up and down. You have 5 levels actually that you can, you know, go to. Obviously, you know, one, you know, you're going pretty quick. You can run up walls. Boom. And you can actually run like horizontally on walls. So let's like find a wall. We should be able to do this on this wall. You have to hold shift when you do it, by the way. You guys have to hold your sprint key. Mine is shift. But yeah, if you want to run up a wall, you have to be holding your sprint key. You won't be able to do it, you know, if you're not. We actually don't need to have your speed active to use the abilities. You have the barrage punch, the speed barrage attacks, and then you have the mock dash, and then you have the sonic punch, which they look the same, but the sonic punch does way more damage than the mock dash. And then you can kind of just like combo them a little bit. We have the flash fury, which is probably one of my favorite abilities in the actual game right now. You're just like running around and you're hitting him from every single angle. Everybody's getting hit from every single angle. This is a good AoE attack, so if I grab like some pigmen and do it again, you're hitting all of them. and you're doing pretty good damage too, and it scales with your mastery. All these abilities scale with your mastery. And then our last ability, we have Time Stop. So I kind of took, cool inspo from Flash. You don't really see Red Rush doing this, but I'm sure he has some type of like, he's moving really fast, so things look a lot faster to him than what we see. So I decided to give him a quick little flash time that lasts for maybe 3 seconds. The cooldown's not that long, which definitely could change, but that's what we have for super speed right now. Moving on, we have one of my favorite abilities that I've made, Tech Jacket. Tech Jacket has 7 abilities. One is just his actual transformation, but I'm really happy at how Tech Jacket came out so far. It's not like what we've seen in the show right now. The Tech Jacket I made was based off the comics. They gender swapped them in the show, and then you don't really see him do half of the abilities, or see her do half the abilities she's done in they have done in the comics. I hope to see that soon. But seeing the show and how they've done it, it actually gave me more ideas for the ability. So the Tech Jacket is most definitely getting more abilities sooner or later. What you just saw just now was the auto transformation. If you're below level 15, you can't really choose to transform, because Tech Jacket is a very powerful ability. So once you hit level 15, you are actually able to transform at will. That's me trying to use it right there. But if I go ahead and just give myself level 100, then I can boom, take it off. I got inspired from like Iron Man to do the little animation the way I did it. And yeah, when looking at a mob, you can see their stats, their target, or the target, which is their name, their health, their race, which regular mobs in the game, their race is what they are and their power set. But if I did Red Rush, you can see that he's a human with the power set of super speed, and his health is 150 out of 150. This is the Tech Jacket warning me that he's a lot stronger than I am. Every time you change your race, you get reset. So looking at it, my strength is at 1, my levels was at 1 every time I restart when I change my race. But it warn you. You can even talk to the Tech Jacket. I went over that in the video. It's slash Tech Jacket, I think. Yep, slash Tech Jacket. You can name your Tech Jacket. So if I wanted to name my Tech Jacket, what's a cool name, guys? Let's think about this for a second. Where am I? Boom. We got our current position, which are our coordinates. So if I do, F3, it was kind of on the money. I moved. So like, let's do it again. 2225. That's exactly where we are. 69 and 909. It kind of rounded, which is okay. Moving on to Tech Jacket's abilities, we'll start with the Tech Blade. Boom. You can call it, and you can't really turn it off into another. You can't use it again for 20 seconds, I think. But if you want to not have it anymore, you just move where it's at. So if it's in slot 1, you can just go any different slot and it will be movable. Moving on, we have our Tech Shield, which boom, you can you can see that. You can see how this works. It's just a shield, but these two abilities are used for the next abilities in the in row 2. So I'll show you guys what that looks like after we do the Tech Blaster and the machine gun. Tech Blaster, boom, and that's kind of what it looks like. Again, this was mainly based off comic version of Tech Jacket. I made this way before they even showed Tech Jacket in the show, like this season. So in the show, her blast is a kind of a green bluish color. So in here, it's still going to be purple because that's what it was originally. And I kind of like the purple color better. But if you guys would like me to change it, feedback in the comments. You guys can let me know. I love to hear what you guys have to say. The machine gun is basically exactly what it sounds like. It's, think of the tech blaster, but like you can spam it. If you hold it, you can just mow anything down. Moving on to the next two abilities. Like I said before, for the shield blast or shield bash and the dashing slice. For shield bash, you actually need the shield in your hand for it to work. So you have to, you know, switch to the row 2, or if it's in your row 1, you can do it. And, you know, click your key, and that's kind of what it looks like when you're just charging with the shield in your hand. Boom. And there's not like a long cooldown for this ability, since you know, with the shield bash, you know, this is like one of your main type abilities. The shield is moving on to the dashing slice. You have to have the dashing or you have to have the tech blade in your hand, and when you use it, you actually get another tech blade, and you dash forward. This one has a longer cooldown than the shield bash because you do more damage, obviously, but yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Moving on to my favorite ability that I've made so far, atomic manipulation. We have atomic blast, atomic slice, atomic shards, atomic bubble, atomic disc, atomic armor, atomic wave, and we have density increase. I said this before in the last video. That is a lot of atomics. This one, you know, there's a lot of abilities, and there will probably be more. I took a lot of the abilities out from the original, but I do want to bring some of them back, like the atomic hammer. That one was probably one of my favorite abilities, but I want to make it better. This was like the original list of abilities that I wanted to do, the original mod, but some of these I couldn't do. Some of these I just didn't like. At the time, I didn't know how I would do it, you know, and that's what I like love about this version of the mod, is like I'm doing a lot of the different things that I didn't think I could do. I'm doing it now, which I love. But let's get right into it. The atomic blast, it's exactly what it sounds like. A little blast, you know, of pink energy. Boom. Doesn't do too much damage, but you know, it does something. We have the atomic slice, which again, exactly what it sounds like. I'll do it over here, which is it's more of an AoE ability. So if I boom, and you know, we knock them back. Then we have atomic shards, which is this ability works really well like from afar, because you're just sending a fury of projectiles towards, you know. I took the inspo from, if you guys watch the Adam Eve special, if you haven't watched that, go watch that. What are you doing with your life? But she did this in her fight against her brothers. A lot of the abilities that I have in mind for her, she did against her brothers. That was like one of the only times we've seen her like do some crazy stuff with like the creativity with her ability. The next one we have atomic bubble. This one is pretty, like I wanted to do this ability in the very original. I didn't, because you know I couldn't get it to work right, but maybe not. Let me give myself less strength real quick so we can actually boom, have these guys attack me. And if I use the atomic bubble, they can't even get near me. They cannot even get near me. Although it has a pretty, you know, the cooldown, I should make it longer. The cooldown's supposed to be around like 20 seconds. But yeah, it really just depends on when you break the bubble, honestly, because like you can break it and now, you know, cooldown is, you know, what it is now. But I can definitely change that. You guys let me know if you guys would like that change. Moving on, we have atomic disc, which is another ability I think we've seen briefly. I'll try to find the clip and put it on screen. But you know, boom, it's a bigger version of the atomic blast. It does way more damage. Think of the atomic slice. Actually, it's like a projectile version of the atomic slice. You know, it does pretty decent damage, and there's not a bit of a long cooldown, and the range is pretty big as well. Moving on, we have the atomic armor. This ability was actually in the last version of the mod. Same model and everything. This was, you know, we also seen her do this against her fight against her brothers, and we've seen this similar, like kind of sorta against Conquest. It wasn't the same. Actually, I think this was the same one she used against her fight against Conquest, honestly. Moving on to our next ability, we actually have the Atomic Wave. This is the one of the first things we see her do against in the show, actually, against the Flaxons. I also wanted to do this originally in the original version of the mod, but I couldn't. But guess what, guys? I can now. Boom. The range on it is crazy, just like how it was in the show. And you know, you're doing a lot of damage. Mind you, this scales with your mastery, so if you have very high mastery, you're going to be doing a lot of damage. Moving on to the last ability, we have density increase. So we're going to go in survival so you guys can see this one, and we'll have one of these red rushes coming at me. I'm going to be on, like, ready for me to do this. Okay, boom, density increase. You actually have to hold this key for it to work, but now in the area no one can really move, and there's a pretty long cooldown. I think it's like 30-25 seconds. Yeah, when you use this ability, you have to hold the key, just like how you have to hold the atomic bubble. I forgot to mention that. You have to hold the key to keep the density increase going, and anybody in that range isn't really going to be able to move or do anything. They're also stunned as well. This is what we've seen her use against Conquest, the first, you know, fight before she got obliterated. I'm going to show you guys the commands. It's a lot more simpler. We got /Invincible. We'll be able to make groups the same way you're able to make groups in the Fire Force mod, but we also have this player rule mod, which allows you to turn the GUI on and off. I'm also going to have some different types of GUIs sooner or later, so then you'll be able to pick the style of GUI, but for the rest of this video, we're going to keep the GUI on. We also have the cheat command, so Invincible admin. You can set your affiliation, your reputation, and your stats. Affiliation does nothing at the moment, except like for the NPCs. You have the GDA, the Coalition, and the Viltrum Empire. When I add like a story, something into the game with quest and whatnot, these will play a huge role. Your reputation is also used for like the NPCs right now, so it works for, you know, your titles. Reputation with -2000, I'm a global threat. Oh, negative reputation, I'm a global threat. You know, then, you know, if I want to, you know, have a positive reputation, a global protector, or if it's just 20, then I'm a civilian, or they can put it 540. I did it again. And we have a superhero. Moving on to the rest of the cheat commands, you have the stats, which is the durability, health, level, mastery, speed, and strength. Level is going to play a huge role. There wasn't a level system before, but I decided to add a level system this way. Everything is still automatic, so you don't really have to, like, you know, sit down and place your you know, stat points. It's all calculated automatically. Moving on to stats, this is a quick way to, moving on to stats, I'm gonna, you know, give a quick little what's the word I'm looking for? Explanation. Sorry. We give a quick little explanation for the stats. We have strength, attack power, durability, damage tolerance, damage reduction, speed, damage tolerance, regeneration speed, and health. The most important ones is strength and durability. This is how you're going to be doing damage. The way we have it is obviously your attack power is your strength. You know, how your attack power is how much damage you're doing, your AP, and your durability is how much damage you can take. So right now, if your attack power is half of your damage tolerance, or half of the enemy's damage tolerance, you'll actually be able to do damage to them as their durability or their damage tolerance goes down. And damage reduction is how much damage they absorb. So 40% of the damage gets absorbed every single time. The lower the damage tolerance, the less damage they'll be able to take. It kind of works as a second health bar, and there's a more in-depth explanation with the stats in my previous video, which I'll link, and I'll do like a little title card as well, so you guys can, you know, look at that if you want. Moving on, we have a couple mobs here: Tech Jacket, Adam Eve, Red Rush, the criminals, basic criminals, Omni-Man, Invincible, and Invincible. These mobs actually do fight each other, so like we're gonna move out of the way, and if I spawn a Omni-Man, what you're gonna see when I spawn it is like a debug option. This is for me, but like you can kind of see like their stats basically: mastery 55, strength 280, durability 260, you know, damage tolerance is 208, which means you need a attack power of 104 to even damage Omni-Man. His affiliation at the moment, this is season 1 Omni-Man. I'm gonna have different versions of Omni-Man, so that we'll have the current Omni-Man in season 4, where the coalition Omni-Man, he'll still have a negative rep, but he'll be on the good side, you know. And we'll have Emperor Omni-Man. Spoilers, actually, spoilers. But yeah, we'll have Emperor Omni-Man. But if I was to spawn, let's say, Red Rush, they will start to fade. Omni-Man is and he killed Red Rush again. For the criminals, these are like the easiest way to gain XP. You know, they don't spawn that much, 6.2, but you know, all the criminals have, you know, different types of you know, strength factors. You know, they have armed criminals, we have unarmed criminals, we have like monster type criminals, like this one's from the Lizard League. It's like a Wolfman type of criminal. But there's a bunch of different types. I do plan on adding more, you know, skin variations. So if you want your skin added, you know, maybe throw them into the art channel in the Discord, which will be linked below, and you might see your skin added in the game. Moving on, a feature that was taken out of the original mod, working out. Finally, you know, I kind of got back to it, and you know, they work now. We have the dumbbells. So to even hold these, there's a strength requirement, you know. So this is a 10-pound dumbbell, this is a 25-pound dumbbell, and this is a 50-pound dumbbell. So if I give myself the required strength for the 10-pound dumbbell, right? If I hold it, and you need one in your main and offhand, right? But if you crouch and right click, you can change the workout that you're doing, which is you know, would go to the experience for certain stats. So dumbbell curls, you need one in your main and offhand, so let's do that, and boom, you're repping out. You're just repping out 10 right there, right then and there. You can't move while you're doing it, you know, because again, you're working out, and boom, now you have to wait. But if I look at my experience, I gained like 6 experience, 4 experience. You don't gain any for speed and health, but boom. And I'll show you guys one more time, you know, so you know what the deal is, right? Boom, you're still repping it out. You're getting strong. You're getting built. You might be able to touch on Omni-Man, you know, after a couple 100,000. You're now you're repping out squats. You're repping out squats, y'all. You're squatting. Oh, you can't see it like that, but you're squatting. You're squatting. You know, you're working the glutes. You're getting thick. Your legs are getting strong. And now if you look at our durability, I gain more durability experience than I gain strength. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. What I showed you guys in this video isn't everything we have now. There's obviously, you know, some other features, passives that I didn't talk about, genetics that they're not implemented, but they're going to be implemented. A lot of things that are still, you know, I'm working towards, but I just wanted to show you guys what we have right now. There's going to be a lot of updates for this mod, like a lot. I have so much planned. I'll actually drop a planner in the description once it's full, so you guys can see like what my mind is thinking, like what I'm thinking about, how I want to proceed with things, because I have, like I said, I have a lot planned, so much more planned than I did before. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, If you want to subscribe, I would prefer it. Drop a like on the video. Again, I put this in the last video. Everything this month, I am doing a 50% off on my Patreon. So if you want to become a beta tester, you get access to beta versions of the mod. You get access to test servers. Go ahead, if you want to do that, you can. I'll also drop the code. The code should be on the screen. If it's not on the screen, then oops, but it should be on the screen right now as well. But again, thank you guys for watching this video so much. I hope you guys enjoy everything. Go watch the new episode of Invincible. Episode 5 was crazy. It was absolutely insane. I don't think it was absolutely insane. And again, I read everything. Episode 5 still it's still blowing. I watched it twice. Guys. I'm a fan. Shit. You caught me.